D1 will be the first to fall, I can only assume. Attacker is actually playing through bridge, playing high ground, and then dropping down when they decide they have cleared everybody out over here. 1 falls, 2 falls, 3. Tank takes some damage, 78 dog. Making some calls right now, but
0 deaths.
26-0. We talk about quadruple positive fraggers. What about a 26-0 commander who's not even up in the sky? I know he's in a tank. I know that tank is the first one they start with. That is still impressive, man.
Yeah, how have RRQ, I mean, not taken out the initial objective of the defensive side, right? A tank attack starts with it. That's the only thing you got to worry about sometimes. LT have just done such a great job of defending it, shooting out some of the Allure rockets from the sky. I mean, it's hard to do that, but they're making it look easy.
D1 falling immediately. The defense here, they did mark D2 as an objective they needed to hold, which is quite an easy hold for them, so that's a nice little score boon for RRQ and Krauser. D1 now marked for a hold from 78 Dog. That extra score from the D1 hold may give them enough for a guided missile. A couple artillery barrages certainly could be used, but they want the missile to help clean things up onto D2. Again, regardless of the firepower that LT have, D2 can be very difficult to capture just because of the spawn positions of the defense. So now all focus from both teams is on vehicle gameplay. You got to keep them alive. You got to keep them in cover while also having an impact on the map. 3 to 4 in the vehicle category, and LT have had the same tank since the beginning of the game. The play from the defense right now is to play tug of war as long as humanly possible. If there's a huge attacking assault onto D2, you could sack it and swing down and take D1 very easily just because it's so open and very easily accessible. So there's worry to that. There's fear in that because the retake is also just as easy.
The RRQ have actually flushed out this beacon that was down here on the staircase.
Oh, have they?
The beacon's gone, but Saxon is still here. Defends the staircase very, very well. And he's looking to continue the montage, continue the highlights. He's actually peaking with about 30 HP. He's feeling so confident right now. What a great individual effort. Now, obviously, Saxon is going to be picking up a lot of individual kills, but I was just going to mention that RRQ did a great job of fending off that beacon, and because they did go ahead and fend off that beacon, LT took a giant dip in terms of how many tickets they do have available for them. Every single time I do mention that, though, it seems like LT wins the game about 5 seconds later, so hopefully I didn't just jinx RRQ by saying that, but that was in general, a win for the side of RRQ, in my opinion.
No, I totally agree. I was kind of just joshing you because Saxon was going insane, but the revives come through from Kiss Shot, and they move on their merry way. Pretty good job from the defense to retake high ground over the bridge. Wonder how long to be able to hold that D1 in control of the attackers. And here's a squad trying to come up the backside of this team in Ego Chow. What a 3v9. And they're winning. Only one player has gone down for the side of LT, and 5 have fallen for the side of the defense. Tank Destroyer 009 getting a little bit more aggressive to play the low side and continue to establish this foothold for its team. Looking for the flanks, looking for anything he can get his hands on while the infantry re-up. Everybody together and make a coordinated push towards this D2 side. If there's any team that can hold D2 for the entirety of 180 lives, it is RRQ. Still looking for a miracle, though, and I'm looking for a strike team. It's hard to tell one of your squads, hey, we're under so much pressure on D2, but I need you to go way outside of normal battlefield zones. I need you to go way around for a massive flank and try to take down one of these vehicles, because that could very well be our win con. But here comes the push. Here comes the attack. Swinging over the top of the bridge, being met by the guns of RRQ. Both sides finding a bit of damage and finding some blood.
The most forward position we have seen so far on Sector D from the side of LT with their vehicles. They have been very, very patient. They are waiting for when the time is right. When do they approach it? You can even see the Tank Destroyer is kind of toying with the side of RRQ, just kind of peeking over the little bit of the ridge there. Hey guys, I'm right here. Make sure you pay attention to me.
Saxon.
But then he just runs away. And the reason why the Tank Destroyer can kind of run away and not find too much value, just doesn't have to, because Saxon's running around and just killing everything.
Still no guided missiles.
Ooh.
But they may not need them.
Big investment. RRQ, urgent redeployment are called in. 009 here, still finding value. Tank Destroyer is going to be finding itself into the tunnels, flushing out some of the defensive side of D2. Once again, the urgent redeployment is active right now. 126 tickets available for the side of LT. They've got to make something happen now. This is only going to be 45 seconds of security. The beacon is down as well. The artillery barrage is down. But take a look at this. A lot of damage onto the side of 78 Dog on that tank. That was your opportunity, RRQ. You needed to land one more Alluru rocket, but the cohesion is not found. What are you going to do when this urgent redeployment ends in about 5 seconds? Because it looks like the side of LT is preparing a giant push as all of their vehicles are right on the front line.
Yeah, whether intentional or not, whether an accurate assessment of RRQ or not, I think the play here makes a lot of sense. And we're taking a lot of damage here. I'll get back to that in a moment. It's actually enough damage. Tank Destroyer goes down and Tank goes down. RRQ, I was about to say that they invested so much score and maybe even baited out by LT, so much score from RRQ, they had to make all of that worth it. They established a new presence on D2, they established a presence on D1, and they get 2 vehicles from it. All of that score they invested was well worth it. A big play from RRQ to reset the battlefield on this D sector, and LT now only have 103 lives to do with what they can, working through now 2 zones of the D sector.
It's very hard to quantify the timings of Victory Unite and when the score streak starts to become available, right? Because every single attack takes a different amount of time. I actually expected LT to have guided missiles by now. I mentioned that usually when we see an attack onto the train wreck D sector, it's the guided missiles that make the difference. LT still have 0 available, and they have lost 80 tickets. Again, they're gonna come into fruition. They're gonna come into play at some point. But when they do, is it going to be a little too late? Yeah,
I mean, they've been investing in some artillery barrages, etc. It's not completely unreasonable that they don't have one yet. But also this game, I know it feels like we've been playing it a while. We really haven't been playing all that much. We flew through the other sectors, which just didn't allow LT to rack up very much score. I've said it now a couple times. D2 is just a difficult one to break through. Here comes another tank. NW Dog wants to get back into the action as one of the main vehicle operators for this roster, a part of that Dog squad that is underneath their commander. They retake in the bottom of D1. They're going to move this tank up to get into the mix. They do have a vehicle advantage. It's only a 1 vehicle advantage. And you're going to see PZ Dog back here playing Ridge for most of these fights. So should our tanks and our tank destroyers get invested against these IFVs, these LOVs, I favor the red side. I favor the attackers if they full send. I'm not sure they can get all the way back to Malzo with where he's located.
Nice job by LT to retake D1, and
another one
really only took 10 tickets. Artillery Barrage is going to try to make the difference here for the side of LT. They're starting to feel the pressure. They want to flush out one of these specific positions. You want to talk about specific positions. These recons for both sides have constantly been trying to find some of the flanks. I think we really haven't seen anything found in terms of these flank strike squads making anything happen.
We are missing a lot of green on the point right now. That push looks so much more deadly when there's not an urgent redeployment.
One more.
Tank Destroyer low, tank low as well. A lot of engineers being invested right now. The strike force should get a double no. Look at the repairs. The engineer goes crazy, but the tank destroyer still falls. 78 Dog in a trap. Fish in a barrel, though, a tank in a river. And so many rockets landing on 78 Dog, but he will survive. Goes down. Alluru, that's Krauser, the commander. What a save.
An explosion of a moment from Krauser right there. He was screaming into the mic. He said, yes, yes, RRQ. That's what I'm talking about. In what timely manner? How was I just making a point of how I felt like the strike teams finding the flanks weren't finding value, and then an influx of flanks comes in from the side of RRQ. You were mentioning D2 was under heavy pressure, but that's because so many members of RRQ were making that flank happen. Now what do LT do? Nothing has really worked for them. They are down a vehicle. When they were up one, they couldn't make it happen. Surely RRQ can hold on when they now have the advantage.
Artillery barrage landing directly on the top of D2, forcing the defense to scatter to the sides rather than some of these headies that overlook the top of the bridge. The attackers were taking a peek at what they could do on top of the bridge. They put a team respawn beacon down as well to get bodies on bridge to make a coordinated push. RRQ with vehicle advantage, like you mentioned. Also an artillery barrage answering back means nobody can move. Everybody's zoned off, and it's just a gun and bow fight all around this bridge. The assault vehicles continue to fall to the side of LT anytime they try to make a move to put down some forward beacons. Anytime they try to drop some players off, they're getting cut down in transition. These Lavs are doing so much work with Malza in the back as well.
I don't know when it's going to happen. Maybe it just won't. Maybe I was wrong. Still 0 guided missiles available. And by the way, when all the chaos was going on, I actually did see RUI tell us that the guided missiles went to 1. But because LT are investing so much score into artillery barrages and have to call in some of these other vehicles, I saw it go back down to 0.
Yep, exactly. We're sending a lot of artillery barrages to hold the line, hold the defense at bay, pushing forward, potentially taking D2, and also keep them,
there it is, 1.
Thinking. We've got 1 guided missile potentially available in an artillery barrage. Again, they're just matching each other's score right now. RRQ's done
2.
enough to match the score of LT, at least for a moment. But how long can you hold this team at bay? Folks, this is a fantastic hold from RRQ. LT down to 51 lives. But we should be seeing missiles here very shortly, especially with some value and some bodies on the point. Is this the beginning of the end? No. RRQ is going to pull that urgent redeployment. They've earned enough score to continue to invest in bringing their players back as fast as possible, and these players can spawn so dang close.
Oh no.
A lot of damage on V9. Got to be careful. Can't be careful enough as Modius with the great play, and here comes the missile. They feel the pressure, and they want to put this missile straight on top of these vehicles. Expect this missile to land on the backside of D2. You've got to assume these vehicles know exactly where it's going. Let's see what happens. It's on the back. Maybe not far enough back. Only 1 kill, dead center of point, but it's zoned off the defense from being able to play on it. And now it's just an out-frag moment. All red on the point. You're going to have to see Javier go huge in the Lav.
Yeah, you can see that respawn beacon is right in that train. They're all flooded in right now. They're forced to go ahead and invest the positioning of the Lav, and it actually works out. I was expecting to find incredible damage being found on the side of the defense right now. But yes, 78 Dog is joining the fray. This is the most forward this tank has been. Remember, this is from the initial push from the side of Javier. He's trying to make something happen. He's trying to go ahead and take out the tank. But the tank is taking no damage. The Lav goes down from the side of the defense, and D2 is being captured. But on the other side of things, the tug of war comes into play. D1, somebody from the side of RRQ is capturing it in what you would have to imagine is solo.
Great play, team respawn beacon down to continue to battle on these points, but D1 nearly fully captured by the side of the defense. This is still a worthwhile trade for the attackers, especially if we get another tank, but no, it goes the other way. Malza able to pick one up, and they get the trade out on the other side. We now have attackers with 2, defense with 0. 30 lives remaining. An unbelievable Herculean effort from RRQ to keep this game going. The attackers feel like they have a shot to win right here, right now, but a team respawn beacon. Look at all this green swarming D2. A great beacon. The defense are here. The reinforcements have arrived. And there's not enough firepower from the attackers to take D2. We are being reset again, and we're going to see more players having to go through the respawn. Are you kidding me? These tanks have to land. If these tanks land, RRQ win this map, and they may win it anyways. 1 goes down. The second one lands on 1 HP. Where's the last rocket? Able to stay up. Nice job from the engineers. I think that might be GG's. I think RRQ have somehow pulled this thing out. This is unreal resilience from this roster.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think as soon as the attack comes in from the side of LT, they can just answer it with guided missiles for the rest of the game right now. LT have to cook up something crazy to make this happen.
Watch overtime. It's going to be an overtime play from LT. They know their lives are low. They're investing a ton of respawns right now.
The assault vehicle is going to go ahead and call in the troops, trying to make something happen. An absolute flood from the side of D2, but they're actually getting pieced up. They're getting chopped down on approach. RRQ are doing a great job of recognizing where they are coming from and responding accordingly. And I keep my eye on those tickets because you're talking about overtime. If they don't put a body on the point, it's not going to matter. Down to 7 right now. What can they make happen? RRQ are doing such a good job. Krauser's going to go ahead and mark the objective. Krauser, we know what the objective is, man. We know we have to defend D2.
6 lives and counting, and here's the strike team. All they have to do is jump D2 with enough bodies to put it into contest. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. 6 lives.
Beacon, guided missiles, same exact time.
They need the overtime. Here comes the last push. And a guided missile will certainly mean we're going to move to overtime, if not win it right here. An answer in kind. Guided missiles from both. Team respawn beacons in both. They are mimicking each other's actions perfectly, but who will win out? TLMS picks up 1 with his. Here comes another big fight from the side of 78 Dog. They trade again. Trade after trade. Missile after missile. Barrage after barrage. These teams are mimicking each other. And the zones are contested. There are bodies here. Everything's in jeopardy. But they need overtime if they want a chance. If LT want to win it right here, right now, they need overtime. And D2, with another guided missile on top of it, Yujan picks up 3, but they've got to put bodies on this point. They cannot let it be complete control by the defense, which is exactly where it is.
88 Dog now going to be calling in a guided missile of his own. They got to go ahead and find some value of this. RRQ are trying to go ahead and flush out the point. They have guided missiles available, but they've actually opted to not call one in. They're feeling confident in the capability of the strategic beacon to go ahead and flood the point. Javier is going to be taking out the assault vehicle. They're going to be denying L2 from the sweep in an incredible defense. We went the distance on Trainwreck. Somehow, some way, they got cleared out of Sector A so quick. Sector B fell shortly after. In Sector C, it felt like nobody even defended. And RRQ, where did they stand tall? On Sector D, on the back foot of those 3 vehicles that set as far back as you possibly can on a map like Trainwreck. And because they were so far back, LT struggled. They struggled to go ahead and force them out of position, to force them to be destroyed. RRQ, man, we're going the distance.
I am blown away with what RRQ was able to accomplish. The way we saw them play the first several sectors, I thought there was no chance they hold.
I agree.
And then once it started, once the tug of war started, RRQ did an unbelievable job of doing just enough to not let LT take that D2 position. Quick look at the stats. Popey going huge, 57 total kills for the side of RRQ's Popey. He's top fragger for their team, and I think top fragger on the server.
134 engineering.